Or as they say in Australia, g'day, mate. Yeah, today is the 26th of January, 2016. It is a Tuesday. Our focus will be on technical analysis today. I think we'll go through the entire world, maybe go through 1,000 charts if I can. Too close. There you go. And then that's that. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Kick busted. Yeah, congratulations, Ryan, on your 400 pips today. Don't worry, you'll get better. We got to start somewhere, Brew. Your strategy is outstanding. Yeah, well, last week you probably would have had at least 3 days of that many pips, I would imagine. So anyways, trading's risky, so let me remind you that trading and investing is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. So stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. I was just looking at my avatar there. What is this, 2007? No, 2008? That's in Dubai. It's funny. Like, I wonder if I have some of that stuff. I have a camouflage lanyard on. Anyways, interesting stuff. Hey. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com, a boutique ECN that caters to the world of traders. Yes, we offer you everything that you need to make you happy and perhaps even wealthy. That's access to Forex, but also energies, metals, and indices. Can you imagine not having oil charts as a currency trader? Imagine all those poor amateur suckers out there trading Forex without access to oil charts. It sucks to be them. Awesome to be you. We do these sessions every day, 7:30 in the morning, which is a London lunch, here in the United States of America, Monday through Thursday. And every Friday I'm over at fxstreet.com. Bum, 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 bum. And they've just made those Friday webinars premium webinars now. Hey, good morning, Alan. Okay. These sessions are always free here at Forex.Today. All you need to do is register. That's not too bad, right? That's not asking for too much. All our analysis is unique analysis found only here at Forex.Today. A team of analysts stationed around the world. We've recently added a gold trader. I am going to be adding a US dollar trader. So quite literally, we have an analyst stationed all around the world, whether they're Asia or continental Europe or the UK or soon the United States and so on and so forth. Our gold traders from the Middle East, awesome blossom. So they work as a team around the clock, watching the markets for you and then documenting opportunities. Pretty good for free. So why don't you swing by? More importantly, pay it back. If you like something, leave a comment. If you don't like something, leave a comment. Share it, click it, like it, all that kind of stuff. Pay it back, dude. Pay it back. Without further ado, let's get to, I think, an hour and a half of hardcore technical analysis? I think I'm going to cover everything. But before we start, let's wash our hands and our feet and, with happy music. I'll see you over on the other side. Happy music makes me so happy, 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 happy. Let's make some pips. Pachow. Love it. Awesome. Oh, forgot to fire up my drawing tool, my handy dandy notebook. Where's my handy dandy notebook? There it goes. Cool. All right. You should be looking at the global stock markets. Is that right? No, you don't see charts. Ha ha! How about that? Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Well, let's start in Japan. How'd we do in Japan? Gapped like normal. Closed where we opened. But interesting, right? Now this is interesting for a couple of reasons, because if you're a bear, you kind of need to sell again. And if you're a bull, that would be a terrible place to buy. And one or the other is likely to happen. But boy, the whole day was up, wasn't it? Pretty cool. But if you're a bear, you need to sell this hard, man. Right? That's a pure roll reversal off of a psych level. Another thing that you can measure is, yesterday's low, yesterday's high, and we're at the 382 of that move, even though it's kind of a weird setup. But a bear is going to be like this. Pretty simple stuff. Okay? That would be a bearish trade plan. And if you're a bear, time to wake up. Now, if the Nikkei comes down, what does that do to the Japanese yen? The Japanese yen goes up, so like USD yen or Kiwi yen would come down, right? So what do you think, guys? The Nikkei 225, the Japanese Nikkei 225 went straight up, boom, 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 boom. If you were watching this, what would you be then trading? Yeah. And should you be up or down? Meaning yen pairs should be going up. Okay. Did you just lose charts again? What is going on with this thing? Weird. Yeah. Okay. Now, well, I'll keep an eye on the chat then. Yeah. So just a quick look at it. Like I don't know. What do you want? CAD yen? That can't possibly be going up because CAD is so pathetically weak, right? And there's your CAD yen over the same period, straight up like a rocket ship. So do you see the correlation now? Okay. If Asian stock markets are rallying, yen gets weak. But also that usually is a risk-on attitude for global macroeconomics. Risk-on usually means buying high yield and commodity currencies. Oh wow, look at that nice little setup we did. That worked out tickety-boo. Check this out. Okay. So it's pretty critical. If it breaks back below here, okay, so now If you're a bear on this, right, what you're saying is if the Nikkei comes back down and makes a new lower low, that's when the Japanese yen gets strong. That's when commodity currencies fall. That's where CAD yen goes down, not up. So just think of it this way, right? Green candles on this Nikkei, green candles on, I don't know, Aussie yen. How does that smell? Okay, green means risk on, red means risk off. It's just the Nikkei. Euro, yeah, about the same. Euro stocks. Let's go to the DAX, 30 largest stocks in Germany. And we've already identified these levels here as being important, right? So like the S&P 500 the other day that I covered, this is the area in which it just has to go up. And of course, it doesn't have to do anything, but it's like I'm on my hands and knees begging, right? Please go up. Right? Because look what happens if it don't go up. It's a pretty rough ride. If it doesn't go up, maybe there's some action here, and maybe there's some action in here. But those are some maybes I don't really want to test. I don't really want to try that. So let's hope this 382 holds. It's funny how it's 382, 50%, 618, right? So it's one of these things where, I want it to go up. Now, how about this? Do you ever worry about hedge fund managers? You really, you feel sad for them sometimes? Because remember, if hedge fund managers don't break their high water mark, they don't get paid. Right? No performance fees. Think of all the poor hedge fund managers that are not going to meet their performance fees. They're not going to break high water marks. So do you think they want this to go up or down? Well, you got to put it in perspective. That's a lot of money though, right? How about the UK? Nice bounces we have, right? Looks like I predicted that one. Very nice. Then you get the 1, 2, 3 gone, right? Off support. And now what? Well, if you still want this to go up, a bull would be looking at this area. Oh, snap. Isn't it amazing how it's just so perfect? When you see things like this, guys, I want you to remind yourself that if you understand what's just happened, right, and we do see this all day, every day, that there are thousands, maybe tens of thousands of traders just like you, some with $10,000 in their account, some with 10 billion in their account, and they do this. This is what they do. They do the same thing that I'm teaching you. Right? Unless over and over and over again you think it's a grand coincidence. Like, do you think it's a grand coincidence? Right? The 100 largest companies in the UK just rallied up off of that, off that wick low. 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern? Or do you think there's lots of traders watching that and lots of traders actually trading it? Isn't it interesting? It's not hocus pocus. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm not debating that part. But that's how you make money. That's the game you need to master, right? Just that. The rest is just, conversation. Okay? So now the projection here, if we live in a perfect world, is 1382, right? 1382, right? Just happens to be there. Now, let me ask you, if you live in a world of pivot points, if pivot points rule everything, the universal truth are pivot points, and you're a bull, what pivot point should we be playing this week? What are the weekly pivot points if you're a bull? What's the low pivot point? What's the high pivot point? No, wrong, totally wrong. Ryan, hang your head in shame. Go sit in the back of the room. For shame. M2 is the bottom. Come on, this is like, I'm asking you to recite the ABCs, guys. This is, you should be falling out of your chair going, holy crap, I don't know this. I'm not joking. You just got to know that, like, this is simpleton stuff, guys. So you should just, like, right there, we've just identified something. Probably the most important thing you just ran across for 2016. Clearly, you haven't mastered pivot points. It's very similar to, like, my son yesterday. I'm like, are you done your homework? Yes, Dad. Have you done your spelling? Oh, I already know the words. What? It's Monday. 20 words is hard work, man. Oh, yeah, I already know them. All right, well, how do you spell somersault? How do you spell caught? How do you spell pause? I'm like, I don't think you know these, son. Right? Yeah, P-O-U. I think you're going to need to work on this one, right? Same thing, guys. This was like a huge red flag, and if you take it serious, you'll thank me for it. How can you ignore these pivot points? And by you not knowing these basics, you're completely ignoring them. Look at the market last week reversed at exactly where it was supposed to. That's it. Okay? Now, if you're a bear, you ready for this? If you're a bear, M3, which is this line, to M1 is what you think is going to happen on Monday. So it didn't happen until like Wednesday morning. We hit our top and then it dropped. Right? Or wait, that might have been Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, we hit the actual target. I am not joking. In the book I wrote, 8 years ago? I said M3 to M1. Now, if you're a bull, you have to go from M2, which is here, to M4. Oh, snap. That's what just happened with Fibonacci. This is the projected range. Oops, I got to go to here. Okay? That is the projected range if you're a bull. So last week it happened exactly perfect, and this week it's setting up exactly perfect. Now, the trick here is you don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know if it's a bull or a bear, but if you know if you're a bull or a bear, then you know where to look for your setups days in advance. Right? Yeah, Fred brings up a point. There's likely lots of auto traders that have this programmed into their algorithms that just say, well, are you bullish this market, the UK 100, the FTSE? I don't care that it's FTSE. I mean, it's all the same to me. They're just like, okay, well, sell there, boom. Okay? Now, what should blow your mind is this week's top so far is right there, M3. So if the bears are still in control, now, if I was a bear, this would make me nervous, a higher high. But let's just say there's still bears in the market. Then their plan this week is this. That's the bearish target. Same as the week before, right? This is M3. This is M1. This week's high currently is M3. So therefore, the people that sold there, their target is down here, M1. If the bulls, however, take over the game, and things fundamentally changed a lot last week, there's some big bounces and stuff, right? Right? This is a big key area. So if the bulls have taken over, what they want to do is M2, which is right there, M2, and their target is M4 up there. Right? This is the first area of that red box. M1 is the first part of the green box. Green meaning up from there, right? Red meaning down from here. So if you bought here, this is where you should get out. So the only question is whether you're bullish, right, on the FTSE or bearish on the FTSE. I can't make that up for you. That's your decision. But if you know what your decision is last week or this week, then you just simply know, oh, well, this is my buying area, right? Buy it on a Tuesday, take profit on a Thursday. There's your week. Now imagine you live in a world where you make one trade a week. That's the kind of stuff you might be looking at. Oh, Tuesday at an M3 and it's turning red? I'll take a shot. The market's bearish. Okay? Oh, 1, 2, 3? Oh, well, I'll buy it here on Tuesday and get out there at the end of the week. Now, Ryan, you said you bought my book just recently, right? Like, you're fairly new. I don't know you. You haven't invited me over for family dinner. I haven't babysat your children. But you bought it, right? Go find it and see if I said anything different like 8 years ago. You made a note of the point, though, and yeah, you just found the note. Cool, right? I mean, am I exaggerating, or is that exactly what it says? Yeah, cool. Cool beans, right? So again, I just kind of fell off my seat. If you didn't, maybe you should have. Okay, guys? I mean, it's phenomenal to me that you don't know that. Another way of saying it is, if I was you, I would get to know that very quickly. Okay? Why? Because I love you, man. I care about you. I want you to succeed. So another bouncy bounce last week. Okay? This is the Dow. So, yeah, I'm concerned, right? You guys play Minecraft? What would a villager say? What does a villager say? So I'm a little worried. It bounced as, at a good place. No higher high. Okay. So I'm going to take this whole area. And, yeah. Okay, I'm cautious. So I think what I would like to see is like a breakout this week, and maybe I feel better next week. Okay. Does anyone watch earnings? We're in earnings season. Are you guys watching it? Like, the earnings I'm hearing are, they're doing pretty good, right? Yeah, like everything's cool, right? It's not the end of the world in the United States. Okay. So, I got some time. Could be a buying area, though, and that's what we talked about last week, that there was a big buying area. Okay, and this is our friend the S&P 500. Let's bust this out to a 4-hour. And this is last week, and this was actually the line in the sand where it just had to go up. This is where I got on my hands and knees and started praying. Okay, I know it's not a strategy, but it sure didn't hurt. So, you know, if life was perfect and fair, which, you know, life is ugly and completely unfair. But if it was perfect, this is what we would have this week. Okay. Oh, look, M2. So therefore, the target is M4. Is that exactly the same as the FTSE? M2 to M4. Is that the 4-hour 200 EMA hanging out up there? Isn't that nice? Apple. Right. Apple without Steve Jobs is like a, I don't know, a rocket without an astronaut. Exactly. Apple without a core. How silly. You know, it shows me how silly like fund managers are. All just piling into a dead stock. Oh, the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch will change the world. Yeah. Whatever, dude. Good luck with that. So there's a good look at the stock market. I don't need to go into NASI, but well, I guess I could, right? What do pivot? Look, it's just all the same, isn't it? By the way, M2 is just slightly lower. Notice that on all of these, M3 is the top. So we're in this situation where if you're a bear, you know, you're getting ready to sell. There's no doubt. And if you're a bull, you're in an area where you should be thinking of buying. And I don't think it's going to be like easy unless you've already made your decision. I think if you're looking at 15-minute charts and you're trying to make decisions, I think I would bet against you. I think you just lose money. You're like, oh, well, you know, oh, I'll just buy, oh, I'll just, no. I mean, these are bigger trends and stuff. And if you're like, how about this? If you're a bear, you needed to sell in this area. That's the weekly M3. And if you're a bull, you need to buy here. And what happens to someone that makes a bunch of trades in here? You better get lucky, my friend. Oh, well, Wayne, you know, the stochastics. You're like, the stochastics rules the world. Right? The value, the market cap of all high-tech companies in the United States are going to go up and down based on your 15-minute oscillator. Oh, well, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. I don't know. If that sounds ridiculous, then, you know, maybe it is. Oh, well, Wayne, yeah. Oh, we're getting there, my friend. Fred's fired up. Well, why don't we do this now? Just a little quickie. These are the lines I drew last week. And what were those lines? What do they represent? Places to sell. Turns out one of them actually created the central pivot point for this week, and the other one is the actual top. Right? Look at this. We did this after the Draghi speech on Thursday. I mean, this is what I drew. That's not bad, right? Look at this one. Turned out, yeah, I'm maybe 1 pip off of the central pivot. Okay. And I wouldn't worry about the monthly because we're almost done. Monthly's dead to us, right? Does that make sense? Cool. By the way, any more people interested in meeting up in Dubai or Singapore? I think I want to do both, to be honest with you. Hey, Paulie. Good to see you, buddy. When, like, I don't know, next week, the week after, I don't know. I was thinking about with the actual costs and stuff, we're going to need, probably closer to 8 people. So sooner the better. I don't know, next week, next month. I don't know, whenever you want. Hong Kong. Look, if it can't be Singapore, Hong Kong would be great too. But let's say Singapore. So send me an email if you're serious. And I just like hanging out with traders. So if everyone threw in to cover my cost, I would do it for free, basically, right? Just I need to fly out there. I need somewhere to stay. We'll pay for the room. We'll trade for a day. Maybe one day go out and see the sights, and I'll get back on a plane and fly home. Right? I'll spend 18 hours on a plane, 48 hours on land, 18 hours on a plane, right? So, but with if there's layovers and stuff, I'll spend 48 hours in the air to spend 48 hours with you, and I'll do it basically at cost. That seems pretty reasonable. I can't think of anything better than that. So let's do it. So if you're interested, email me and we'll just, I think there's like 3 people that said they pretty much do Dubai. And 1 or 2 people have said Singapore. All right. So anyways, make it happen. If you want it, I'll make the time for you. Yeah, Ryan. Ryan, we'll try to get my friend David Pigler to go too. He's actually from South Africa. He and I'd be a great team for that. All right. So anyways, USD yen. All right, here we go. Right. How are you going to play it? Well, once again, we've already pre-planned this. I know you think I'm silly, like when we're up here and I'm talking about stuff down here, right? And then we get down here, and of course, people miss it. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird challenge when we talk about it and we analyze it, and then it's still missed. But the question is, do you believe this is the support? Right? You just have to believe that. And so I went back and I showed you why I have it. But the thing is, do you believe this 16 area, right? Because look at the actual bottom. And right, here's 16. I mean, literally, we hit 16 and bounced. And it's clearly a support area, if you believe that it is. So if you believe it, do you believe this high versus this low and this previous high? Let's mark this one. Okay, so so it comes down to belief and assumptions and stuff. Do you believe that that's a reversal at support? So the first part of this is, do you honestly believe this is support? Okay. Second part is, do you think this is a high enough higher high? And if the answer to both of those questions is yes, and by the way, the most important part of this question, or of this process, is whether you believe this area down here is actually support, long-term support. Because the only way you can reverse the market is to get everyone else to do it for you, right? Because we know if you dropped, 100,000 bucks on this, nothing would happen. Nothing would happen, right? The market wouldn't even know you existed. So then you throw in $1 million. Still, the market wouldn't even know you're you're like one of those invisible bugs that gets in the eyes of people, and you're like, oh, what are those called? No-see-ums, right? You're there, and sometimes you're annoying, but other than that, you don't actually exist in nature, right? Right? So now what? So if you actually believe, and you believe this is evidence that money has gone into the market, then your next course of action, I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war. Ciao. Is that. And that's called, you can label this 1, 2, 3, long and gone, right? Another way you can do it is like inverse head and shoulders. You say, okay, this is a left shoulder, and you drag it across. Same idea, same thing. 1, 2, 3, head and shoulders, crown patterns, all these things. They're all the same to me, honestly. I'm sure you could probably do like some crazy Gartley pattern out of that and say, well, let's try it. Right? Some dude would go, and then some other dude would be like, All right, so whatever. I don't know how that makes you feel, but something like that. I don't know. I guess I should have drawn it off that one. But I got so many lines, it's too difficult now. So anyways, cool. If you want this to go up, you need to prepare to buy. Don't you stink? Right? Because what you're measuring now is the fib. What you're looking at is the roll reversal. What you should be eyeballing are psych levels. What you should be looking for down in here, if you're a bull, on a smaller time frame, are reversal patterns, right? You should see this be going up by tomorrow, right? These are all things you should be thinking about now. In fact, yesterday you should have been thinking about this, right? This is what I was saying. I can't remember if I said it yesterday or Friday, but the whole thing I'm trying to teach you is to think about tomorrow, today, because today's already happening. You're already too late if you're sitting down on your 15-minute chart trying to figure out how the world works. They've already made their money. They're already in the process of making their money. Right? It's already done. You're already in the trap. So today, what you're doing is really looking at tomorrow. And tomorrow, carrying out what you analyzed today. Right? So anyways, you should be preparing that. But what if you're a bear? Do you think it's possible that we have continued risk in the market? Do you think it's possible the stock market can completely crash? Do you think it's possible something like Iran comes out and says, nah, there's no way in hell we're going to cut oil production. We're going to flood the market with oil. Is there there's a risk, there's risk, right? There's risk of risk. We're worried about the known unknowns, but then there's always unknown unknowns, right? So in a risky scenario, right, if risk hits the market, Japanese yen gets very strong. Money comes out of the U.S. stock market and goes to a Swiss bank account. Right? Oh, Linda, the pivot points, they're just indicators. So you can just Google around and find indicators. That's the best thing about MT4. There's no two people with the same MT4. It's so customizable that if you Google, MT4 pivot point indicator, you may come up with 10,000, right? Yeah, Nuno, I'd like that. Okay. So, anyways, so if you are a bear, okay, you were supposed to sell at the daily 21. Let me show you. All the gold in California. All right. It's just that easy, folks. Right? Right there. Okay? But I'm on my hands and knees praying for the stock market to rally up again. And therefore, what I would like to see here, and by the way, it's still a very risky trade. Okay, that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. But look at the market, guys. Technically, the market went bearish right here, which means at best now we got to come up through here, challenge the 21. We did respect it, and then we got to slingshot up into here, and that's got to be respected. And then we got to go up into here, and then before we rally, we need to then retrace this amount. So we need a retrace down to here, which would then, this area that we're actually sitting on now would become support. And then we need to, rally up. And I've run out of space, but, we got a lot of work to do if you want to be up here. Okay. Isn't that nice? Okay, and then lastly with this yen thing, is it possible the Bank of Japan does not increase quantitative easing on Friday? Is it possible that they don't, right, is what I'm saying? Well, what are the chances they don't increase quantitative easing? I would say probably 90% chance they don't make any change whatsoever. Okay? And I kind of agree with with the United States and Japan, I think are in very similar situations. Okay? And that we do not have monetary policy problems in these countries anymore. I think their governments are running the countries into the ground, and that we need to change the governments. Or we actually get a leader that comes in and says, you know what, let's fix some of these long-term problems. Let's fix it, man. Let's fix it. But we know we can't even take care of simple things, yet alone, complicated things. So anyways, I think that's going to be a drag, I think, on these countries. But what's Janet Yellen going to do? I mean, there's nothing to do. Monetarily, I think things are fine. We're waiting for Europe. We'll be fine in 5 years. See, I'm actually thinking 5 and 10 years in advance. These are wonderful days. Okay. So let's move on.com. You know, let's go. We have to do oil. And then I want to do pig dog. Okay. Hey, same thing. Every other currency was this way. And even the stock markets were the same way. This might be a 1, 2, 3. Okay. So do you buy here? Well, it's besides me. Like, if you didn't buy at $30 a barrel, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, I don't get what you don't get. So that's that. If this collapses, however, it may change everything. This might be the one thing that you need to watch. Are the stock markets going to go up to M4, or are they going to go down to M1? What will determine this path? Oil. Will the yen be strong or will the yen be weak? What will determine that path? Oil. No, because like I said, there's a 90% chance in my books. There's a 90% chance that nothing will happen out of the BOJ. So what's the BOJ going to do? Nothing. So anyways, I think right now you better pay attention to oil. Okay. Now, is the market rational or irrational? This is the $30 mark. Seems like they did exactly what they were supposed to do, right? Peak, valley. Okay, can you see this? Look at that, guys. It wasn't even $30 a barrel. It was 61.8% retracement. What? So, is it logical and intelligent? Like, or is this market just crazy, out of control? You know, it seems like real money moving in intelligent ways, right? There's intelligent life science here, guys. So if they carry it out, now we don't know how long they have the guts to hold the trade, but the theory is if they bought at the 618, right, that you're going to get maybe to the 1382. So maybe $35 a barrel, right? That sounds like a jagged little pill right now, but, you know, maybe. If that's the case, yen gets weak, dollar gets strong, Swissy gets weak, maybe what, Singapore dollar, who knows? Okay? So that's something to watch. Hoorah! Hoorah! Okay, I want to move over to pig dog. There are no fundamentals on oil, Ryan. We have low demand, we have oversupply. What are the fundamentals? Do you think the fundamentals are different this week than 2 weeks ago? But how do you fix that? All right, so who's going to stop producing? Russia? Venezuela? American frackers? Saudis? Mexico? Canada? Who's going to stop producing? Hey, you have $1 trillion business. Why don't we shut down? Then what would we do? I mean, like, seriously, right? Who does it first? So you kind of have to go out of business. You don't just stop producing, you go out of business. So that's the game that's going on, and it may not be a quick game, okay? We also need to increase demand. Okay? And that's probably going to be a multi-year process as well. Okay. So if oil goes up, what happens to this currency pair? Yeah, it should fall. Okay. Weekly central pivot. Interesting, huh? But again, highly dependent on news, on oil news. So you got to watch this really almost minute by minute. So the way I trade, right, is you make a decision, and let's say this area here was your sell zone, eh? Okay, price gets in there, and then what do you do? Like that, man. Uh, 5.1 on the Philly non-manufacturing Fed index.
Fashion, your workers dropping to 14.5 from 20.5 prior. Wage and benefit cost index rising to 32.6 from 28.2.
Whatever. So, yeah, you would. I'd be trading this on pretty small time frames. Once I've made my decision, right? Just lots of skippy scalps, right? That's the 1 minute. This is where it would have all started, right? Right there. That's the weekly central. That's the beginning of your sell zoning, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. What do you think is going to happen next? Lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, again, for that to happen, you need oil going up, not down. And then I have to go back to here. And say, well, is oil going to go up? And that's where we get this scenario where on the daily kicked off the 8. Wait, is that daily or hourly? I thought I had it on daily. 4 hour wants to go up. Whoa. So if this goes up from 30 to 35, okay, what's going to happen to kitty cat? Because you might say, well, Wayne, I don't even trade oil. I'm just a currency trader, which is the funniest thing, but people tell me all the time. Well, then this is what's moving the market, so watch this and then trade those that will benefit, right? Buy the Canadian dollar, for example. Anyone watch Norway on that one? Guy is looking for 138, huh? Well, I don't see that yet, but so there's Noki. Okay. First sell zone on Noki is here. And the next one, I have to choose from this to this. So I'll take this one, I guess. Okay. So if oil goes up, this pair is likely to go down. Whoop. Let's throw something radical. You want to get radical? You want to get jiggy? If oil goes up, be interesting to see what happens here. Is something like that plausible? Mexican peso. I know, I'm getting crazy. Okay. Mexico produces a lot of oil, guys. And I guess we should talk about it. Why is the dollar weak right now? I'll give you a hint. We talked about it yesterday. Why is the US dollar weak? Risk off. It's risk on right now. Canadian dollar strong. Aussie dollar strong. Stock markets are going up. Oil's poised to go up. Where's the risk off? Can you be more specific, Alan? Strong smelling, Leon. What about the FOMC? Emerging economies. Come on, Ryan. Hey, we talked about it yesterday. What was it about yesterday that... Why is the US dollar weak? Because there is an 87% chance, according to the Fed funds futures market, that the Fed does not hike this week. And apparently KC says it's only 11% now. It was 13 yesterday. Yeah. See, guys? That's why I don't like answers like waiting for Fed or waiting for Grandma Yellen. I want specifics. Because there's an 89% chance according to smart people with real money, that the Fed does not raise interest rates this week. Raising interest rates creates a strong dollar. Not raising interest rates does not create a strong dollar. Marcia? It was hugely priced in. I can't remember. It was almost like 89% chance they were going to raise interest rates. Okay? So anyways, though, guys, so now it's changed a little again. Casey, thank you. All right, so anyways, guys, what I'm trying to teach you is that, we can disagree in opinion, right? To me, that's fine. In fact, I love it because if we disagree, then there's an opportunity for me to learn, right? Right? And Luis is like, oh, well, if they do, it'll be a disaster. First, they shouldn't have done it, and whatever. I don't care about any of that. I really don't. That's great for TV, whether they should or not. Who cares, honestly? It comes down to what there is. There is and there isn't. I'm very Yoda about that, right? Do or do not. They either raise or they didn't. It's not my job. It doesn't matter to me whether they should have or shouldn't have. They just did, and that's it. And then there's expectations of the future. And more importantly, what does everybody else expect? And how wrong is that from reality? Because that's more important than actually the reality. Kind of thing, right? But whether they should have, who cares? Whatever. I just need to make money today. That's it, right? So I don't get caught in those debates. They're raising interest rates. They're likely to continue to raise interest rates. At what pace is debatable. And right now, very smart money thinks the pace is going to be slower. And they're not going to raise today, so why should the dollar get strong? And therefore, I'm trying to teach you that there are ways for you to not be opinionated, but simply have factual data that will help you make money. That's a noble cause, isn't it? Because there's lots of people going around saying, why isn't the dollar strong today? Well, I showed you the Fed Fund futures market, and there was no reason for the dollar to be strong today. Why should it be strong today? Right? So it's more like, why is it? Oh, well, the interest rate differential. All right, well, we'll see. Because the facts are the Fed's not raising interest rates, according to the market. Not the TV market, not the newspaper market. Money market. The money market. What does money say? Hello, $1 billion. It's actually, billion is stupid, right? Hello, $1 trillion. What do you think the Fed's going to do this week? Nothing. Okay, thank you, Mr. $1 trillion. And then what? On the other side of the equation, what's Draghi going to do? Draghi has said that they are willing to talk about maybe adjusting policy. Wow, that's just shocking. Right? I don't see money on the table yet, do you? Right now, it's kind of like a guy going into a Mercedes dealership looking at a $130,000 car. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying it. And then you run a credit check and the guy has no credit. No money, no job. Like, get the hell out, dude. So, I think right now we have to wait for the next customer, right? Maybe in 6 months someone shows up and says, yeah, I got money on the table. I need to buy some bonds, right? I need to weaken this euro. But it doesn't have to be today, and it doesn't have to be next week, and it doesn't have to be March. So what I'm trying to do is slow it down and try to say it's not as simple as what Harvard tries to teach me. Interest rate differentials, boom. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. There's a lot of timing, right? There's a lot of timing going on with these things and stuff, right? But it's always going to come down to fact, and opinion is usually worthless in this market. There's lots of opinionated people that are standing, in the lines at the food kitchen. Hey, man, I used to be a big floor trader. I was huge on Wall Street. Right? So let's not be too opinionated. Let's look at the facts. So there's no reason the dollar needs to be strong today. That would be good. What I think would maybe change the dollars from being weak to strong would be a big stock market rally in the United States, and in particular foreigners getting out of Chinese stocks and into US stocks. And I think that is possible. I think that is warranted. I think we have the technical setup for it. Has it happened? No. But we've been talking about this recently, that it's been, I've been saying something like $900 billion has come out of China. Guess what? Bloomberg announced that their Bloomberg intelligence department has crunched the data through their hardcore secret sources. And they now estimate $1 trillion has come out. I'm like, hey, maybe Bloomberg intelligence has been coming to our webinars. Right? Well, I guess my quantitative analysis department with super secret sources have come up with roughly the same idea. So let's say $1 trillion has come out of the Chinese market. Where's it going to go, baby? Wouldn't it be nice to buy this dip in the U.S. stock market? And if foreigners go long U.S. stocks in a big way, that would be great. Some DAX, some, all that kind of stuff, and some Nikkei. Cool. Maybe, right? So let's keep our eyes on the prize, right? Now, you would want to get your money out of Singapore, right? Maybe it stops in Singapore. It's in Singapore now, but it's not going to be in Singapore 6 months from now, right? So anyways, guys, if you want to meet up in Singapore or Dubai, now's the time. If you want me to come out in the next 3 months, let me know. I'm a pretty busy dude with trading and doing the other things that I do, and then school and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just jonesing to get out and meet some people. I used to go to conferences like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year. I used to go to these big speeches. I've done speeches in the Grand Ballroom in Vegas, where the room is the size of football fields. I've done all of that. I've had the booth, the double-sized booth, right? I've been gold sponsors, silver sponsors, event sponsors. When I launched my book, I bought like 3,000 people beer and wine and threw a huge party with drink tickets and decorations and book signing. I've done all those things. I'm tired, man. I just want to meet you, sit down and trade in an exotic place for a day. Go out for dinner and then come home. If that sounds cool, I'm totally cool, because I just want to sit down and trade. Let's just sit down and trade. Let's have, you and me and a couple of buddies. Let's make a day of it. We don't have to make a big stink about it. Sit down and trade. Get 8 hours under our belt. Have a nice lunch. Maybe have a nice dinner. Then I'd like to see the different cultures. Home. Back to work. Back to school. Back to being daddy. Back to being husband. So, sounds like fun, man. If you want to make it happen, I'm interested. It's just got to be warm. So, no to Finland. No to Norway. So anyways, and maybe we'll make it a thing. Maybe every 3 months we'll do a meetup or something. But that's all I'm talking about. Let's meet up, let's trade up, and then come home. Just like that. If you're interested, send me an email, wayne@fxbootcamp.com. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And if you like these events and you want to keep them going day after day after day after day, and keep them free and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty easy. Go to TradersWay.com, open an account. A demo's cool. It shows that you care. It shows that it shows you something. You're giving back at some level. And then at some point, when you do feel confident and you feel like you have skills, and I helped contribute to those skills and that confidence, then put real money in it, and that's how it works, right? So I'll see you guys tomorrow, every day, right? Isn't that awesome? So yeah, I do that because you're important to me, and I care about you. So I'll see you tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Thanks for being on my team, huh?